play, the invitation to play, I don't think play is really well enough understood as being the way that people learn, the natural engine of learning for young children and for really all people. Like playing around with things is the way we learn. So I'll give you an example of, I just was visiting a second grade classroom at a local school, and we were doing something with pattern blocks, which are a classic math manipulative that I love. And we basically were saying, let's try to build different triangles with pattern blocks. But the question became, how many blocks can you use to build a triangle? So, you can do it with one. You can do it with two if you put a trapezoid and a triangle on top. And then three is kind of tricky, and like different kids. But at some point, there's a certain kind of like, I wonder quality, like, oh, I wonder what's possible here. And also a skepticism, like the kids were like, oh, I think we can do like 11 blocks. And I was like, I just don't think that's possible. 11 feels hard. And I was like, did anyone like actually do that? And no one had it. And I was like, I don't think that can be done, And then at some point, other things just start happening. And I think this sense of wonder is really essential. Like at some point, someone builds a triangle with just two different colors, And I was like, I wonder, can you use any two colors and build a triangle? Like, you could use just one color and build a triangle. And so one kid got really invested with just using the red trapezoids to try to build triangles. Now that's actually a really tough mathematical problem. And you can get there by this, like, oh, I'm just curious, what's happening within this structure, within these rules. And that's essentially how games work. Like, there's some rules. They kind of simplify the world. It's not like, let's just explore new math. It's like, oh, no, I'm curious about this set of shapes and what you can do with them in this very specific way. But it's so natural for a kid to just start building things and trying things out. And the curiosity just bubbles up naturally in that context. So a question like that is a question that's great for like kindergartners, but also like 8th graders to say like, oh, how many of this size of red trapezoid can you use to build a triangle? Now I've played with it, and I know that you can use 3 trapezoids to build a triangle. You can use 12 trapezoids to build a triangle. You can use 27 trapezoids to build a triangle, which is what that kid actually discovered. He discovered 27 first and nothing else. And then it's even more interesting because like, why those numbers? What's happening? And I think that the more you get in, the more you sort of get invested. It can start with this very casual, like, I'm just messing around with this stuff. I'm just playing around. But as you just start looking like, what's happening here? And you go from like, I'm just playing around with some shapes and I see some patterns and numbers. And soon you're like, I am attending to the mysteries of the universe here. And I don't, like, what's happening? Like, I need to know. So for me, that's kind of the passage of how it works.